Hi, I'm Urvashi Pitre from Twosleevers.com, and I'm going to show you today a very simple recipe for how to make garam masala. So the word garam means hot and masala means a mix of spices, and every family has their own way of making garam masala. When you make a Twosleevers recipe using garam masala, I'm actually using it as a shortcut. So typically what you would do in Indian cooking is you would use whole spices to do what's called tempering. It isn't quite the same as the way that Americans or we think about tempering in the United States, where you're taking a hot liquid and mixing it with something that might curdle, like yogurt or eggs, etc. Tempering for Indians actually means giving flavor into an oil. Okay, so the problem with that is that most of us have been trained from a very young age to eat around the spices, and most non-Indians are not. And there's nothing worse than biting into, like, a piece of cinnamon. It'll ruin your whole meal. So what I have done is I've created this way of cooking that allows you to just use this ready-made spice mix, and also it's much faster, because if you look at what's in the garam masala recipe that I'm asking you to make, here's everything that's in it. So this is, by the way, it's on Twosleevers.com. Just look for homemade garam masala and you'll find it. But it's essentially coriander seeds, cumin seeds, cardamom seeds, bay leaf, cloves, cinnamon, and dried red chili peppers. Okay, now I want to explain kind of how these things, the role that they play. So you'll see in here there are some spices that are savory, some that are, quote, sweet, and some that are spicy. Okay, so these cumin and coriander serve as a savory function. They have a very earthy, kind of a piney almost taste that they'll bring to your food. In contrast, cinnamon, cloves, and cardamom will give a sweeter taste. So those can often be used when you're making desserts, of course, but in this garam masala, it gives sort of this aromatic sweetness to it. Bay leaf, again, is a savory spice, and then of course the red chili is what's adding true spice. However, having said that, I feel like there's multiple types of spices. So there's a nasal spice like wasabi or horseradish has, right? You feel it in your nose immediately. And I actually can't tolerate much nasal spice. My husband can eat a lot of it, I can't. Then there's what I would call mouth spice. So like chili powder, cayenne pepper, those things that have that mouth heat that, or a jalapeno or a serrano, you bite into it and you can feel it in your mouth and it starts to tingle. That's kind of a mouth heat. And then there's what I would call a warming or a chest heat, which is what you get from cinnamon and cloves, etc. So sometimes if you eat highly spiced food and you get heartburn, that's typically what's causing it. Now in this mix, what's going to happen is we're mixing up sweet, savory, spicy, all of these together. Okay, if you're super spice sensitive, you might leave out the red chili peppers, but then you might also go a little bit easy on these aromatics. So that's what's in there. The recipe's on here now. It's so simple. I can't even believe I'm showing you this. Here's my very well used coffee grinder. Can you tell I've had this one forever? There's a link to this on the blog that you can find the coffee grinder you want. Now, there's multiple ways to use spices. Sometimes you would brown them. This one is not a brown recipe. I'm just going to put in my coriander. This is just going to be ridiculous. I'm putting in the cumin, the red chili peppers, the cinnamon, the cloves, the cardamom. Oop, one little clove got left behind. Come back, clovey. And then I'm going to take my little bay leaves here, and I'm just going to smush them, and I'm going to put them in here. Okay, now once this starts, it's going to be a bit of a racket, so I'm going to explain what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna press this, and I have to listen. Okay, the way I know it's gonna be done is it stops making this popping sound, and it sounds a lot smoother. But I'm also about to shake it, and I know it looks ridiculous, but I'm about to shake it, because if I don't, what happens is the powder traps underneath of the blades. Okay, so I'm gonna shake it to keep the powder moving, and I'm gonna listen hard. So this is how long it takes. It's so fast, you're gonna not believe that you haven't made it yourself. So here we go. There you go. See how it's smoothing out? There we are. Okay, that was, see, I don't hear little particles hitting it anymore is how it's done. And then what I do, just to make it easier on myself, is I turn it upside down and I thump it. That's my technical term, thump the coffee grinder. Okay, and then once you've thumped it, now of course it's not going to work as I'm trying to do this. Let me just loosen it a bit. I have inflammation in my hands today, so it's not working as well as it should. Okay, so the reason I do this is because, see, now there's nothing stuck in the bottom of the blades. So all my thumping and moving around really made a difference. Oh my God, I wish you guys could smell this. Okay, so now it's literally that simple. How long did that take me? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. Oh, I didn't get quite all my bay leaves because I was in a hurry, but here's my garam masala. And typically, when I'm making, say, butter chicken or whatever, I might use, I don't know, a third of this. I might use a third of this. So this spice will last you for a good long time. It's completely homemade. You know exactly what's in it. And people say, I don't know where to get all these spices. Really, the only ones that might be difficult to get, and you may have a little trouble getting cardamom. If you can find the green pods, buy those and you can take the seeds out. But really, pretty much everything else you should be able to get in a regular grocery store. If you can't find cardamom, put in a little allspice to compensate. It won't be exactly the same thing, but it's doable. Okay, and if you watch my cooking with spices video, I've shown you how to make multiple dishes with this. And if you go on to twosleevers.com, you go into the section that says all recipes over here. In here, you enter garam masala, and it's a filter, and it'll show you all of the various recipes that you can make with it. So moong dal, mini vegetarian dishes, chicken vindaloo, chicken korma, the smoked tenderloin that I did in a smoker, you know, shrimp recipe, etc., etc. So it's not like you're going to buy this and use this for one dish. You're going to be using it for multiple ones of them. And look, it took longer to gather those spices than it actually took to grind them. So there's absolutely nothing to it. Put everything in, shake it up as you're grinding, listen carefully. When it stops popping, it's done, and then pour it out and enjoy. And I'm Urvashi Pitsri from Twosleevers.com, and that is how easy it is to make garam masala. So I hope you try it. Thanks.